Hello, my little lovebirds. TonyaTko here. And yesterday I did a video about accessing some of the tools given to you from the universe and from the Most High that are at your disposal, in the forms of guardian angels, intuition, the voice within, etc. And I talked to you about meditating to tap into some of these resources. So I told you guys to look at some books or to search for some books to learn more about meditation, etc. But in today's video, I actually wanted to meditate with you. Meditation is very personal. So there's going to be different ways that each person meditates and that is right for you. But for the person who does not meditate and has not meditated, I wanted to have you meditate with me during this video, and then you can do some more research on meditation and find a style that works best for you so that you can hone in and tap into that inner source, the inner guidance that comes within you. My intuition personally is in my belly, right down in this area, right down here. That's where I feel my intuitive feelings. When I need to make a decision, I sit and I listen to that feeling right here in my belly. um, Sometimes I can, and then when I am sending energy out to another person, I send that energy from right here in the middle of my solar plexus. So and I'm going to make this caveat because everybody believes, everybody feels something different. Everybody thinks I don't want to say everybody thinks they know, but if everything that you know right now is all that you think there is to know, then you are missing out on vast resources that are available to you. Number one, we have to grow as human beings, as spiritual beings, etc. And there are a lot of things that are happening and going on all around us that we don't know about, that we don't tap into. Um, there are some people who have how some people say you have an old spirit or an old energy or a mature spirit, etc. There are people who have found peace and enlightenment. They're very in each generation. They're very rare few people who have tapped into the ultimate level of enlightenment. But for you and I, we can do what we need to do or do different things to develop our spirit. If you think that we are just here as human beings, I am of the belief that we are not human beings who have spiritual experiences, but we are spiritual beings that are having a human experience. And we can tap in, you can tap into me, you know, um, listen, I'm going to be very honest and very real with you. You can tap into me, and I can tap into you. You can tap into nature. You can tap into the Most High. You can tap into the Most High inside of you. There are so many, and I'm going to give you an example, and you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. When I hug you guys in my videos, you feel it because you're tapped into me, and I'm tapped into you, and we are all connected. All of us. We're connected to the plants and the trees. We're connected to the moons and the stars. We're connected to the sun. I did a post about the new moon on my Facebook page, and there were some people who were like saying that that's gibberish and foolishness. But I'm sorry, this is not, listen, this is not something that is unbeknown to even scientists. If you do just a little bit of research on the moon and the relationship that it has with the ocean and how the tides are created by the moon, and the moon has this compelling force that draws the water up to it. Oh, listen, honey, we are more than 70% water. Our bodies work with the meridians of the sun. But we're going to get into the meditation in just a bit. I wanted to, in just a moment, and we're going to meditate live in this video. We are connected to the meridians of the sun. Anybody who has ever worked at night knows this. you'll notice that if you work at night, even if you get 8 hours sleep during the day, you're not fully rested. We are, our bodies have a relationship to the celestial bodies around us, and number one, number two, if you do some research on the moon and the relationship that it has with the oceans and the tides, and even if you can rationalize that we are more than 70% water, you can only imagine that the moon must have an effect on the waters in our bodies. We each have vibrations. Even children can pick up on this. You can be upset around a child, and you don't even have to say anything to the child, and the child will know that you're upset. Children know when to, even babies know, they connect with different people. Animals connect with different people. All of us living beings, we're connected. And it's not until we wake up as a people and realize that we are all connected. I read this article about the bonuses that were given out in the banking world, and how the sheer the vast amount of money that was given out for bonuses in the banking sector were enough to feed the entire world 3 times over. And it's like, until we realize that we are all connected, things like this will continue. World hunger, the violence, wars, just any number of different problems. As long as you see yourself separate from me, and as long as I see myself separate from you, instead of us being connected beings where we come together, it's I'm going to say this one last point before I'm going to hug you guys, and I'm going to ask you if you feel it. I'm going to hug you guys, ask you if you feel it, and then after the hug, we're going to get into meditation. And in the meditation, I'm going to talk about some vibrations. We vibrate a certain energy, and there's some people who you connect with their spirit and you connect with their being, and it has nothing to do with the physical appearance. It has nothing to do with the outside. It has to do with their vibration. And I'm sure you've met people who repelled you as human beings. Something about them their energy just repelled you. And we bring things into our lives with our energy. For example, there was an author by the name of Donald Goines. Donald Goines wrote these, oh gosh, they were graphically violent books. There's some things I still have nightmares about. Oh gosh, he talked about this scene in one of his books in which there was this girl who was like a drug addict, and she was prostituting, and there was this pimp guy, and he had this dog do some horrible things to her while she was pregnant, and because she wanted some drugs, and after the dog did these horrible things, she hung herself. And he wrote about in the book the person who found her, and while she had hung herself, she had given birth, and the umbilical cord and had hung the baby. It was graphic and horrible, and I'm sorry to bring that up. But the reason why I mention that is because he wrote about these really horrible graphic things, and then in some twist of fate, he died in a horribly, just gratuitously violent and graphic way. Somebody kicked in his door and slaughtered him. And it was like, I talk about relationships, and I talk about the people that we bring into our lives, and we have to find an inner sense of peace. On Valentine's Day, I'm going to talk about how to prepare yourself for a relationship. But we have to find an inner sense of peace, and we will bring peaceful people into our lives. Each one of my relationships, I talked about in the last video, the things that I've learned from my relationships. When I was younger, the people I used to date were wide and varied. I really didn't know what it was that I wanted. And so I dated and I dated and I dated. And as I've gotten older, the type of man that has been attracted to me has been closer and closer and closer and closer to what it is that I want as a woman. So each man that I date now is closer and closer to the ultimate. So let's get right into today's video. Let me hug you before the video starts because I don't know how intense the meditation will be. So let's hug, 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 hug. Oh my gosh, I love you guys so much. Oh, feel my energy. Whew. Whew. Now you tell me, did you feel me? Can you feel me now? Do you feel connected to me? When I smile, does it make you feel like smiling? Yes? No? Because we're connected. So let's get into the meditation. I'm going to show you what I'm sitting on and what I sit on every day, because loving yourself is not only about saying you love yourself, but how you treat yourself. And sitting down all day, if you do some research into sitting down is imminent death. Sitting down kills you. So to get to the median of that, I sit down on a chair, which is an exercise ball. This is my chair. I'll lift it up for you. It's an exercise ball on a hoister. I can put the link to that below for you guys so that you guys can get one. It was $80, and I feel that it's well worth it because I'm in a constant state, like it absorbs my energy. So I'm never pounding against a stiff, stagnant energy. It absorbs the energy of my body. It keeps my spine straight. Like if you look at the way I sit, it keeps my spine straight, and it nurtures my body. So when we are going to start getting ready to meditate, it's important. I'm sorry, my eye is watering. It's important for us to be able to get into a comfortable spot. So this chair is very comfortable for me. It doesn't really matter what you wear, what you have on, as long as you're comfortable. Some people listen to music to relax them. I don't. One important thing about meditation is staying in the now. It's important to stay in the realm of time that we are in right at this very moment. There are a lot of different things going on around us, and it's important to stay in tune with that, with the energies around us. I like to do a sort of macro micro meditation, in that I start big and I bring it down in small. It's important to keep your mind from wandering. And how I stop my mind from wandering is not by, because if you're thinking, stop thinking, stop thinking, stop thinking, then you're thinking about not thinking. What helps me meditate is to not try to stop myself from thinking about all of these chaotic and all of these things all around me. What I do is I hone in on those, and then I bring that in closer to me. So let's get started. You can watch me in the video. It's probably not going to be very exciting, you know, from here on out, because I'm really about to start meditating. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a narrative of a typical meditation for me. So it probably won't be, you know, very exciting. Well, maybe it will be. I don't know. But I'm going to show you guys. So, all right. So I'm just, you know, I'm maneuvering my body to make sure that I feel comfortable. Some people sit cross-legged. I sit however is comfortable for me. All right. So right now I'm just stretching. You know, stretching gets oxygen around into your limbs. It circulates oxygen through your blood, etc. Some people meditate with their eyes closed. I go from open to closed. So right now I'm looking out the window. And outside the window I see people walking around. And I see cars, a lot of cars driving and moving. So like I said, rather than trying to pretend as if the cars are not moving, and I breathe, and I breathe. Make sure that when you breathe, you're filling up your lungs and pushing it out. There are many of us who breathe improperly, in that we breathe by sucking in and then push out. That's the opposite way of breathing, and we have to retrain ourselves. I used to breathe like that before I learned how to breathe, and then now this type, the most productive way of breathing works. It's natural to me. So breathe open and bring back in. So I see the cars moving outside. And what I see is, I imagine that there are people inside the cars, and each person has an energy that they bring along with them. And I imagine the blur of their energy as they pass by in the car, and their energy is creating a trail. I think about the vibration of the car and the people in it, and I see a highway, so I think about the energy absorbed by each car passing over the foundations of the highway. And I think about that energy flowing down into the ground. Each car that passes over, the vibration is absorbed into the foundation, and that foundation is then released out into the ground, and that ground travels over to me, and it is connected to me, and the vibration flows up through my body. I see a man walking outside, and I imagine the colors of this man's vibration, and I'm imagining a green emanating from his being. And I see a person driving up and is at the stop sign. And I imagine that the color that they are vibrating is orange. And at times I'll pick up on a vibration of the person, and I'll imagine what it is that they are feeling at this moment. And at the moment, I imagine that this person is on their way to work and they are unhappy. I see a bird flying in the sky, and I think about the bird's wings and the muscle structure that it takes for the bird's wings to flap. And I think about the air that is propelled from underneath the bird's wings and pushing it upward into the air and keeping it into flight. I think about the ways in which the wings spread out and the air lifts up underneath the wings and keeps the bird in the air, hovering on the air that lifts it. In the distance, I see a tree. And it's winter, so the tree does not have any leaves on it. But I imagine from the soil that there is moisture in the soil, and I imagine the water traveling up through the trunk of the tree, and I imagine in the branches there is a bud that is about to form on the tree, but it's still in a state of closure within the limbs, but I can feel the life inside that bud. I feel the energy of the water moving up through the tree slowly, and I feel the energy held within each branch, because even though the tree has no leaves, that tree is alive. And right now I'm thinking about the moisture that will be produced by the tree, and I think about the humidity in the air. And when I talk about bringing it from the out to the in, right now I'm about to bring it inwards. And when I think about the moisture in the air, we're going to talk about all 5 of our senses right now. And in the air, I feel the same moisture that is surrounding the tree in a form of dew. I feel that moisture on my skin. And I feel the essence of moisture around me. I feel the coolness on my skin, and Sometimes I will attempt to connect to the tree, connect to the vibration of nature. Right now I'm connecting to the humidity in the air, and I'm connected to my sense of touch. I feel the humidity on my skin. I feel the coolness of my surroundings on my skin. I feel the fabric of my skirt on my fingertips. And I imagine each crevice of what creates my fingerprint. And I imagine a magnified view of the fabric touching my fingertips. And from there, I feel the nerve endings going and pulsating into my body as I rub on my skirt. I feel the vibration of the fabric. And my skirt is a silk. So first I imagine the manufacturing process that had taken place to create this skirt, and I think about the energy of the person who touched this skirt and who put their energy into the skirt in which I wear. I think about going back from the person who had the fabric. I think about the person who sewed it. Then I go back and I think about the manufacturing of the fabric itself and the ways in which the fabric was woven together to create this piece of fabric. And from there, I think back to the worm. The worm that spun the silk to create this skirt, and I feel connected to that worm. And I feel a connection to the worm and the tree in which it sat upon as it wove, and I feel a connection to the earth around me and back to the moisture. I feel the air entering into my lungs, and I feel my lungs expanding with each breath. And I feel the moisture and the energy and the nutrient of life, air, filling my lungs. And I imagine that my lungs they have little alveoli that take the air and manufacture it or produce it into a way that this air can travel throughout my body and provide my cells and my organs with oxygen. And I imagine the air traveling out through my blood, and I imagine again my skin. And I imagine the air going on its process throughout my body and then evaporating from my skin and producing moisture in the air. And I think about my glow. And I try to figure out which energy, which color it is that I'm emanating today. And I feel an orange and I feel a yellow. And I think about the yellow and I think about the orange vibrating from my being like the warmth that is emanating off of a being when you look at it through infrared. And I see the orange and the yellow pumping out from within me. And I feel that energy vibrating out into the universe. I feel my energy connecting to you and you connecting to my energy, and I feel your energy as blue. And I feel that my orange and my yellow energy connects with your blue energy, and it creates a color which is a radiation of blue, yellow, and orange. And I think about my taste buds, and I think about what it is that I'm tasting at this moment. And I think about the flavors in my mouth and the flavors of life. And I think about the connection between my nasal passage and my taste buds and my stomach and my organs. And now I'm imagining my stomach, my lungs, my intestines, and I imagine my core and my being. And I think about my sight, and I focus my vision on a color, and my color is still orange. And I imagine that color, and I give in to this color orange, and I let the color orange cloak me. And I feel enveloped in the orange, and I feel enveloped in the yellow. And I feel this warmth, and I feel this vibration. And I feel the warmth coming from the outside and this coolness vibrating from the inside. And I feel a state of vibrational energy surrounding me. And I feel moved. I feel connected to the entire world around me. My feet on the floor. I feel a connection to the wood. And I feel a connection to the tree that made that wood. And I feel a connection to the person who sawed the wood and who put the wood down. And I feel a connection to me. And I give in. I give in to the energy, and I tell the energy to take me on the path that it will. And I succumb to what it is that I feel. And right now I feel a joy. God, I feel a joy. I feel a joy that is so overwhelming that it grips me. And right now, I feel a connection to myself. And I feel a connection to the part of me that is without me. And I feel this pierce of energy coming from a diagonal, coming down into my crown from a diagonal and reaching down in here. And I feel this connection to the all-knowing me. And if I had a question, I would pose my question now when I feel this tapped in to the source. But right now I feel so much love that it overwhelms me. I feel so much love, and it feels it's escaping through my eyeballs because I feel this pent up amount of love, and I want to give out so much love, and it's contained inside of me, so my eyeballs leak the love that I feel. And I feel like the love that I'm emanating right now is pushing out into the universe, and I feel like my color is an orange and a green. And as I push this feeling and this love out into the universe, I feel that someone is picking up on this love that I feel, and because they pick up on this love right now, it relieves some of the pressure inside of me. So I vibrate this love outward. And I vibrate my energy out orange. yellow and green, and I vibrate the energy outward of me, and I feel connected to my being, and I feel connected to the Most High. And right now my fingertips are tingling and my head is cool. Right in this area I feel a coolness on my head. Whew. And a warmth in my feet. Oh, my fingertips are not numb, but I feel a vibration in my left hand. And right now, I want to connect to my source and ask my source some questions about what it is that I should be doing in my life. I want to ask my source for inspiration about what steps to take next. But right now I'm cognizant of the fact that I'm making a video, and that once I connect into source, once I connect into that part of me that's going to give me the answers that I need, once I connect into that, I won't still be able to connect in the spoken word as I dictate this video. So I know that it's in the best interest for me to come out of my meditative state and to connect back to my source and find some answers later. But my source is open and ready to give me the answers. And normally, typically, if I am going to connect to the source and get my answers, what will happen is I will get this vacancy around me, and I will no longer be aware of what it is that's going on around me. Like as I speak, I'm no longer aware of the cars that I remembered earlier or any of those vibrations. What will happen is I will go into a state of calmness and a state of succumbing and a state of opening myself and a state of peace and vacancy. And I will connect to the source. Sometimes the area that I'm in is dark black and I can see lines of a grid on the ground, and I will be sitting on the grid, and I will be in an area of nothing, and I will ask the question, and the question will not come in a voice other than mine. The question will talk to me in a voice that I recognize as my own, but the thoughts and the answers that come to me are beyond what it is that I have conceived. And I know that the answers come from a place that is far greater than me. I know, because I get into a state of clarity in which the things that I did not know become clear. And so when I come out of this meditation, I am going to ask that I am used. Please use me. Please. I am a vessel, and I want my vessel to be used for good. Take me and help me learn how to help the most amount of people. Work your power through me. I release myself to you to be used. Use me and let me stay connected to the vibrational energy that will emanate from me, so that when I am doing something that is not within the vibration of the best good for all people, that I feel the buzz inside of me that moves me away from that activity and pulls me back into the all-encompassing abundance of love. Use me. I am here for the using. Take me and let my actions be those of yours, so that when I act, I am acting in your likeness, in your image, and what it is in the highest of my capability that you have envisioned for me. Use me. Oh, oh, wow, wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Whew. You know what? Wow. Oh goodness. I feel so much peace. And I feel so much connection, and I feel so much love, and I feel so much inspiration, and I feel like taking some more moments and marinating in silence. I feel like just letting this feeling wash over me. I'm sorry, you know what, you know what, I can say I've never done that before, and I feel like, you know what, I feel like a part of me has been birthed into the world, and I don't feel ashamed. I don't feel abashed, and feel, I just feel love, and I feel peace, and I feel a calmness, and I feel, you know, I feel like though I was, you know, narrating that, I really got into a deep meditative state, and I can't understand that, because I don't know how I was able to narrate that and to, you know, connect to my source. I always thought that if I were to talk out loud or to whatever, that it would kind of break my connection. But I was really able, wow, you know what? Oh my goodness, the sun just came out. I don't know if you can see it glowing off of me, but the sun, oh man. You know what? Listen, you can go out into nature, you can meditate. This, I don't know how long my meditation was, but you can go out into nature, and just, the only important thing is to stay connected to the now. Stay connected in the moment in which you are. Don't think about the past. Don't think about what anybody else is doing. Don't think about anything. Stay connected to what is happening right now. And if my method helps you going from macro to micro, that helps me every time. Whenever I try to start with micro, my mind wanders. I start thinking about other things. But when I go macro, micro, thinking about everything and then bringing it in, my mind, did I say my fingertips were tingling? Because I have a sensation in my, I did say that. Wow. I have a sensation in my hands. I have a sensation in my shoulders. It's amazing. You know what? I meditated once in the sauna. I have an infrared sauna. And the infrared sauna makes you sweat like crazy. And when I meditated in the sauna, I did not sweat. And I was like, I don't know how I was able to control my core and my body temperature through through meditation. Meditation is really powerful. I could probably do a little bit more research about it than I have. I've seen, you know, brain scans of the parts of your brain that is like wakened up, like parts that are not used become warm and stuff like that. Did I also say my head felt cool? You see, the thing is, I was in like this trance. I was in this trance. I have to look at this video, and I have to. And you know what? The thing is, every single meditation is going to be different, and I am not always able to connect to the part inside of me. If I start macro, micro, I am always able to connect. Me personally, some people say they're not able to connect or whatever. When I go macro, micro, I'm always able to connect. And you know what, it depends. If my aim is to connect, you know, sometimes I go macro, micro, and then I fall asleep, you know, and then that's the end of it there, you know. But when I need to connect, you know, and I wasn't really expecting to connect today in the video, and then I had to kind of be like, I'll see you later. But listen, let's hug. You know what, This is so personal to me, but you guys know that I met a really spiritual friend lately, a soul partner. Soul, I don't want to say soulmate because people think of romantic, but I met a partner, someone who I had known from another life, and he came into this life. And so, so I'm doing this video because I feel a bit more connected to not the unknown, but the part that we don't know. I feel so connected, and so I feel a bit more, I don't want to say at ease, expressing my, my spiritual beliefs. Everybody believes something different, but I know that there's a lot more out there than what we know. I know some things, but I know that they say we use 5% of our brain. I can believe that because I know we are living in a matrix of sorts, and you can create the life that you want. You were put here to have an abundant life full of everything that you want. There's this poem that goes, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. No matter how I begged and borrowed when I counted my scanty store, I bargained with life for a penny, only to learn dismayed that any amount I'd asked of life, life would have gladly paid. And I missed a verse in there because it talks about how life is the wager, the employer, and it pays you what you feel that you're worth. So it's like you can get anything that you want out of life. You just have to ask for it. So, look up that poem. It's called Bargained with Life for a Penny, I believe. If you look that up, you'll find the words, because I didn't recite it all, but those are the parts that stick in me the most. In life you can get, I believe we live in a matrix. You know how Neo unplugged and he had all these powers? We have powers. We do, and we just have to connect to our source, and we have to first believe that we have powers, and they will start to come alive. I'm telling you, if there's anything that I want, listen, when I say I'm going to do something, it gets done. It gets done. TKO skin, it got done. People, the luck is not, it's not luck. It's not luck. There's and you know what? When you connect to your source, it's not just about sitting around, oh, bring this to me. You connect to your source. You tell your source what it is that you want. You succumb yourself to what it is that you're supposed to have, and you ask to be used or know the things that you need to do, and you do it. You get it done, and it gets done. Let's hug. Oh, how I love you. God, I love you. Come feel me. Come touch me and feel me. Feel me. I love you. Oh, God, I love you. Oh, this is not like my regular video. It's really not, but I know that we connected today. Leave your comments below, I implore you. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. Try my meditation. Tell me what you think of it. Were you able to connect to your source? You could try my meditation while I'm doing it. I don't know if that will work. I didn't know that it would work with me talking out loud. So try mine, or you can go off and do your own and then come back and tell me how that works. I love you. I love you. I love you guys. I love you. You want to hug again? Hug me. Yeah. Hug me and feel this energy. Yes, baby. Yes. Oh. Oh, yes. Feel me. Whew. Goodness. Listen. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. I have this book that I'm writing. Lessons from a Motherless Child. 10 most crucial secrets about love, sex, and self-esteem I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. The mailing list for that is below. It's still being written. I'm going to finish that, and it's going to be an amazing book. The first volume is on self-esteem, teaching you how to let go of some of the old baggage from the past and connect to your greatness and your glory. Disprove some of those old feelings and old myths and come into yourself. So get on the mailing list for that. So the book is not going to be published publicly. It's going to be an ebook published privately. And we're going to talk about all of my beliefs, everything, so that you guys can know how it is that I got to be how I am today. You can come along the journey with me. I love you guys. Love, 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 love. Connect with me in social media. All of the links are below this video. And I will talk with you later. TonyaTko, and I'm out. peace, and love.